Welcome in, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're exploring Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. I've been getting a lot of messages from listeners asking about practical ways to boost happiness and even lifespan. And the concept of Ikigai keeps popping up, so we knew we had to check it out.
And it's more than just a social media trend. This book is actually grounded in some solid research.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's packed with interviews, particularly from folks living in Okinawa, Japan, that place famous for having tons of centenarians.
Like they cracked the code or
Oh,
something.
right. Like, what's their secret?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while we all have our own paths to walk, that desire for a life filled with purpose and joy, that's universal. So let's unpack this whole Ikigai thing. It's more than just a reason to get out of bed, isn't it?
Way more. It's about actively making your life meaningful. The word itself, ikigai, it combines life and to be worthwhile.
So it's not about just existing, but finding what makes life fulfilling and going for it.
Exactly. It's an active thing, not passive.
It's interesting. There's not really a direct Japanese word for retirement, like we think of it at least.
That's true.
It makes you wonder if Ikigai plays a role in that, this idea of continuous purpose, no arbitrary finish line.
It's a totally different mindset, not stopping, but evolving, always seeking what brings joy and meaning.
And get this, the book actually suggests that Ikigai, this sense of purpose, is a major factor in the Okinawans' impressive health and longevity. So
Yeah.
living with purpose can help you live longer. Makes sense when you think about it. If you're driven, you're more likely to take care of yourself, be engaged, all that good stuff.
It's a holistic approach, for sure.
Which brings us to those fascinating blue zones we've talked about before.
Mm.
Those regions where people live exceptionally long lives. And guess what? Okinawa is top of the list.
It's true. They hold the top spot, especially when you look at the women there. Their longevity is remarkable.
Okay, so we'll dig into their diet and lifestyle in a bit. But first, remind us, what are the other blue zones and what makes them so special?
You've got Sardinia in Italy, known for strong family ties and, well, a love for red wine shared with friends.
This is delightful.
Right. Then there's Loma Linda in California, home to a large Seventh-day Adventist community. They're all about health, spirituality, and strong community bonds.
It's fascinating how different cultures, traditions, and values all play into these pockets of longevity around the world. It's not just one magic formula, but a combination of things that contribute to a long life.
It's about the bigger picture, for sure.
What about the other blue zones?
Well, you've got the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, where people are out working their fields well into their later years, just bursting with energy.
Wow, that's impressive.
And then, of course, there's the Greek island of Ikaria, famous for its relaxed pace of life, siestas and such.
The good life.
Right. Napping might be their secret weapon.
I'm on board with that. But okay, we have these blue zones, but what are the people living there actually saying? What wisdom have they gained from their long lives?
That's the best part. The book shares these amazing stories about centenarians from all walks of life, offering different perspectives on aging and well-being. Like, there's Misao Okawa. She lived to be an incredible 117 years old.
Wow, 117. That's amazing.
Yeah,
What was her secret? Spill the tea.
you're gonna laugh, but her philosophy was pretty simple. Enjoy your sushi, get enough sleep, and learn to relax.
Sometimes the simplest things are the most profound.
Right?
It's a good reminder that you don't need some complicated formula to live a long, happy life.
Exactly. Then there's Maria Capavia, a vibrant woman who lived to 116. She was a lifelong vegetarian, which just goes to show the power of plant-based diets.
Right.
And get this, she was still out there dancing at 107.
See, I knew it. Dancing IS, the fountain of youth.
Gotta keep moving. And we can't forget Jane Calment, who holds the record for the longest confirmed human lifespan, a whopping 122 years.
122. That's mind-blowing. What was her outlook on life like?
She really embraced the simple things, even enjoyed a glass of port wine every now and then, but what really stood out was her incredible wit and that optimistic outlook. She once said, "I see badly, I hear badly, and I feel bad, but everything's fine."
That's amazing. What a perspective. Mindset really is everything. All right, we're all about actionable advice here, so tell us what's so special about the Okinawan lifestyle. What are they doing daily that contributes to their incredible lifespan?
One of the most striking things about Okinawa, especially this village called Ogimi,
Oh, gimme. Rings a bell.
it's known as the Village of Longevity. They actually hold a Guinness World Record for the highest life expectancy. And a big part of that, community is huge there.
So they're not just isolated, they have that social connection.
Exactly. They have these bustling community centers, people playing gate ball. It's like a mix of croquet and billiards.
Gate ball, never heard of it.
It's a riot, all about connecting, lighthearted competition, staying active, even in your later years.
I'm down for some gate ball, sign me up. What else makes Ogimi so unique?
Well, there's this charming thing in the book about Bunagaya, these little nature spirits with long red hair.
Okay, now this I gotta hear more about.
They're mischievous, always playing tricks, and they really highlight the Okinawans' deep respect for nature.
It's like their cultural beliefs are tied into nature, not just a separation between the physical and the spiritual.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that connection between mind, body, and the environment. A holistic approach, like we were saying.
I love that. So give us the practical stuff. What are these centenarians in Okinawa actually doing day to day?
You know what I find really encouraging? The book frames these practices as really simple yet powerful habits.
That's what I love about Ikigai. It feels attainable.
Totally. It's not like you got to move to a remote island and live off the land to reap the benefit.
Exactly. So hit us with it. What are some of those key habits?
Well, first up, staying active. And I'm not talking intense workouts here.
Oh, phew.
Right. The book talks about 88-year-old bus drivers still navigating those mountain roads. And of course, the whole gate ball thing we talked about.
Gotta get my gate ball on.
Right. It's about making movement a natural, joyful part of your day.
So ditch the car when you can. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Simple things like that.
Exactly. Small changes, big impact. Another big thing in Okinawa is this focus on good habits. Lots of them are avid gardeners.
Oh, like tending their own little veggie patches.
Yep. Fresh air, sunshine, that satisfaction of growing your own food, it's all connected.
I tried a little balcony garden this year, and
Yeah.
honestly, it was so rewarding.
See, there's something really special about connecting with nature that way.
Totally.
The Okinawans are also big on mindful eating, savoring each bite, listening to their bodies. And they live by this principle called harahachibu.
Harahachibu, we touched on that earlier. For anyone who needs a refresher, what is that exactly?
Basically, it means eating until you're about 80% full.
Okay, so not stuffing yourself?
Exactly. It's about stopping before you hit that uncomfortable, I ate too much feeling.
That makes sense. In our go-go-go world, we often scarf down food without even thinking about it.
It's true.
So harahachibu is like a reminder to slow down, appreciate our meals, right?
Exactly. And beyond just the physical stuff, social connection is huge in Okinawa.
Yeah, you mentioned those strong community ties earlier.
They're incredibly tight-knit. Think daily greetings, activities like gate ball, their traditional festivals. It all creates this sense of belonging.
So it's like their social lives or part of their ikigai, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's all connected, and that sense of belonging, knowing you're part of something bigger, it undoubtedly adds to their well-being.
Makes sense.
Another thing the book stresses is this idea of living an unhurried life.
Okay, I need that in my life. Things feel so hectic all the time.
Tell me about it. The Okinawans, they embrace those daily rituals, those simple pleasures, which is a stark contrast to our always-on culture.
It's like hitting pause, actually experiencing life instead of just rushing to the next thing.
Exactly. And last but not least, the Okinawans are known for their optimistic outlook.
Always looking on the bright side.
Right. The book has these great quotes from centenarians emphasizing laughter, purpose, and gratitude. They choose to focus on the positive.
It's amazing how these simple principles are so ingrained in their lives.
Right. It's inspiring.
Speaking of inspiring, let's talk about this flow state. The book ties it to Ikigai, but how exactly does that work?
Flow. This is where things get really interesting, especially if you want to be more productive and present in your work and life in general.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So flow is that state of being totally immersed in something, so absorbed that you lose track of time.
Like when you're so into a project that the outside world just fades away.
Exactly. Think about those Japanese artisans, the takumi, dedicating their lives to mastering their craft. They embody flow.
Wow, yeah. Or even those engineers and scientists constantly pushing the boundaries. It's not just about the results, but the joy in the process itself.
Exactly. And that's where it connects to Ikigai. When you're in that flow state, it's not just about going through the motions, it's about aligning your actions with your passions.
Finding that intersection of your skills and interests, right? But how do we actually tap into flow in our own lives? Distractions are everywhere.
You're telling me. But don't worry, the book has some practical tips. First up, choose the right challenge.
What do you mean by that?
It's not about overwhelming yourself, but finding that balance between boredom and feeling totally in over your head.
Okay, so push yourself, but not too hard. Find that sweet spot.
Exactly. And with the right challenge comes focus, which is where distractions can really mess us up.
Ugh, don't get me started on distractions. My phone is a constant source of temptation. Social media, news, you name it.
We've all been there. But the book suggests things like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused bursts with short breaks.
So it's about taking control of your attention, directing it where it matters most.
Exactly. Finding flow is about being intentional with your time and energy, choosing the right challenges, and minimizing those distractions.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Life isn't always smooth sailing.
Mm.
How do we build that inner resilience to deal with the inevitable challenges?
Such a good question. Resilience is key, right? It's what helps us bounce back from setbacks.
It's like that saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Exactly. No matter how many times life knocks you down, you get back up.
Love that. But the book takes it even further with this idea of anti-fragility.
It does. Anti-fragility is next-level resilience. It's not just about withstanding tough times. It's about actually getting stronger because of them.
Okay, anti-fragility. It's a new one for me, but sounds kind of awesome. Like we're not just bouncing back, we're leveling up after a challenge.
Exactly. Think of a system that doesn't just survive a storm, but actually gets stronger because of it. The book mentions the hydra chop off one head, 2 more grow back.
Okay, now that's a visual. But how do we actually make this anti-fragility thing work in real life? Because, let's face it, life throws curveballs.
For sure. The book gives some solid steps, though. One is about building redundancies in our lives.
Redundancies, like backup plans for when things go sideways.
You got it. Think multiple income streams, diverse friends, even just having a plan B. It's like a safety net, so if one area takes a hit, you're not totally thrown off.
So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread the risk a bit.
Exactly. And another key to anti-fragility, taking calculated risks. Those small bets that could lead to something amazing.
I can get behind that. Playing it too safe all the time makes you miss out on opportunities.
Totally. It's about stepping outside that comfort zone, experimenting, being open to new things, even if there's a chance of failure.
Makes sense. If you're terrified of failing, you never really grow, right?
Right. And lastly, eliminating sources of fragility, what makes you vulnerable. Unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, even clutter. Identify and minimize those things.
So it's about shoring up your defenses, getting rid of things that drain your energy.
Exactly. It's multifaceted. Build redundancies, take calculated risks, eliminate what makes you fragile.
Sounds like a recipe for not just surviving, but truly thriving.
That's the goal. And speaking of recipes, the book wraps up with the 10 rules of Ikigai, basically. Okinawan wisdom for a life well lived.
Okay, lay it on us. What are the 10 rules?
Rule number 1, stay active, don't retire. Okinawans believe that giving up on the things you love doing robs you of purpose.
It's like retirement isn't an end, but a chance to start a new chapter, pursue those passions you put on hold.
Exactly. Rule number 2, take it slow. The book really emphasizes enjoying the journey, savoring each moment, instead of always rushing.
Stop and smell the roses, as they say. What's next?
Don't fill your stomach, remember? Hara hachi bu. Eat until you're 80% full. Avoid that overstuffed feeling.
Mindful eating, tuning into your body's cues. Love it. Okay, give us rule number 4.
Surround yourself with good friends. Okinawans know the importance of strong connections. Those relationships make a huge difference.
Your people, the ones who bring joy and support, they're everything, right?
Absolutely. Rule number 5, get in shape for your next birthday. This isn't about unrealistic body standards. It's about feeling your best, having energy.
Yes, it's not about fitting some mold. It's about feeling good in your own skin.
Exactly. Rule number 6 is short and sweet. Smile. It's about cultivating positivity, focusing on the good, approaching life with a bit of optimism.
A smile can really change your whole outlook, even how you interact with others.
For sure. Rule number 7 is reconnect with nature. The Okinawans have this deep respect for the natural world. Spending time outdoors, breathing fresh air, it's restorative.
There's nothing like getting back to nature to hit the reset button.
So true. Rule number 8, give thanks. Being grateful for the good, big or small, shifts your perspective and brings more joy.
Gratitude is powerful, appreciating what you have instead of dwelling on what you lack.
Exactly. Okay, 2 more. Rule number 9, live in the moment. Be present, let go of regrets, quiet those worries about the future. Embrace now.
Savor those everyday moments, all those little experiences that make up life, right?
You got it. And finally, rule number 10, it brings us full circle. follow your Ikigai. Find your passion, that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Aligning your actions with your values, lying authentically. We've covered so much in this deep dive, from the other side of the world to ancient wisdom. What's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with today?
Think about a time when you felt that sense of joy, that flow, totally absorbed in something. What was it about that experience that lit you up? Maybe even jot down activities that give you that sense of purpose, however small.
It's about finding those moments, those sparks of joy, and fanning the flames. Ikigai isn't some big, mysterious thing. It's about finding meaning in everyday life and weaving it all together to create something fulfilling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, this Ikigai journey is all yours. No one size fits all, but by trying these principles, you can create a life full of purpose, joy, and maybe even a little bit of that Okinawan longevity.
Well said. That's it for our deep dive into Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and find it brings you joy.